bread and butter. Because when I was a child, lots of people read the manga, and not that much for me, but even for me, the influence of manga is really huge. Female writers' book are these days really powerful, and I love to read much more. And sometimes the culture background is different, but I feel some connection.
Things like the protagonist itself, she grapples with the pressure of both scientific ambition and progress, the traditional gender rules and everything, right? So these kind of things happen still. Hello all, this is Sanjana and I'm an MA Creative Writing student at Alliance University, and this is ALF 4.0, which is basically the Asian century. And today we are having a tiny conversation with the great manga artist and the Japanese writer, Erika Kobayashi. Welcome.
Hi.
And I'd like to take a moment to give a short introduction about her. She is known for her work Trinity, and her novel Breakfast with Mariam Curie, published in 2014, was shortlisted for both Mishima and the Akutagawa Prize. And for the work Girls Making Paper Balloon Bomb, won the prize of Minishi Publishing Hours. And Sunrise Radiant Stories is her second work of fiction to be published in English, right?
Yes.
So welcome, Erika.
Thank you.
A quick question. How is ALF? Like, how is the Asian century at ALF?
Oh, it's so exciting for me to join this ALF festival, because it's the first time for me to come to the southern part of India. Especially now I working on the translation of the Tara books, a picture book named That Woman I Could Be right now.
Yes.
So it's kind of coincidentally they offered me to come here, and I could go to Chennai afterwards. And it's a really wonderful opportunity for me.
Yeah. So you had a panel discussion right now on Japanese fiction. In that thread, I'd like to ask you a question. So that would be my first one. So you see, the Asian century kind of emphasizes interconnectedness, let's say in terms of culture, people, art, and so on and so forth, right? So how do you see Japanese fiction is contributing or conversing with a broader lens of Asian literature itself? Like, what are the influences that you think are very powerful, interesting?
Oh, I think these days lots of Japanese women writers' book translated into English and the other languages. So for me it's so wonderful, because all days there are so many men's writers' book only translated into English, but these days lots of women's writers' book published in the other countries. And also I think South Korean women writers' book also influenced Japanese writers and community too, and lots of Asian female writers' book these days really powerful, and I love to read much more. And sometimes the culture background is different, but I feel some connection that's very important for me to read the books like that.
Could you state some example, like you said, feminist perspectives of certain books? Could you just suggest some books, like one or two?
Oh, I love lots of books. Of course, the Hangan's book. She won the Nobel Prize this year. And, and all of the writers coming together to the ALF authors' novel is so inspiring for me too, like Kyoko and Asako and Kanako, and also Ginny translated lots of Sayaka's book is so amazing.
Great.
And yeah.
So I got a sense of it. Thank you. It's interesting. So we had a wider perspective. Now kind of a narrow down thought. So let's talk about the future of manga art, which you indulged in your works. So how does it in global context? You know, there is an extremity or an immense range of, let's say, extension of media and globalization, right? So in that case, how is the consumption of manga art? And do you think that it comes with convergence of tastes? And the ideal sense of manga art is kind of modified because of these tastes involved, or the regional preferences?
Oh, it's really interesting question. For me personally, manga is more like bread and butter because when I was a child, lots of people read the manga, and not that much for me, but even for me the influence of manga is really huge. But at the same time, the like graphic novel from the other countries inspires me so much, because the technique and the style is totally different from the Japanese manga. But at the same time, it's so new and so inspiring. And also I love the traditional style of manga, and there are so many mixtures right now. So for me, I'm so looking forward to see the future manga style. And
that's great.
Yeah, I really love to see that.
And it's slowly evolving, in that sense. Okay, so the next would be like, I think the place that we are in is kind of the best example for the hub of urbanization. Given, I'd say this question kind of resonates a lot. So we are seeing a lot of urbanization in Japan that is delving or dwelling in literature, in Japanese fiction, right? So a lot of modernization. So how do you think this urbanization, the urban life in Japan in literature affects or kind of gives some impact in other urban lives in Asia?
Oh, I don't know how to answer it, but what do you mean exactly about the urbanization? Do you think it's connected to the capitalistic society, or more?
The rapid urbanization, like rapid development. So that is happening in Japan a lot, right? Japan is evolving a lot in terms of urban spaces, and how it is impacting other urban spaces in Asia apart from Japan.
Oh, I don't know. What do you think about that?
What do I think about that? It is greatly affecting, and people are trying to become Japan.
Really?
Countries are taking Japan as an example in order to develop.
Example?
Yes.
Like for
in order to urbanize themselves.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In India, do you think?
India can be one of the places.
Really?
That
What kind of
Japan as an example.
or like
all
structure?
Yes,
or
the urban spaces, or development in terms of business, architecture, and everything.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I don't know. I wish I could know what kind of influence, because for me, Indian culture or the other Asian traditional and modern culture really influenced in my Japanese society and culture. So I didn't realize, of course, there go back and forth culture mixture and clashing, but for me, the other Asian countries traditional and modern culture and structure really impact to me too.
Okay.
Especially like not for the city planning or something, but for example, like feminism or activism or like social things or people's that kind of activism influence to the Japanese society too.
Okay.
For example, like I saw the Tara books did, and that's so inspiring.
I see. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Your pieces, your works have a lot of feminism in it, don't you think? A lot of feminist perspectives through female characters, right? So, and these female characters give a lot of female identities, particularly within the framework of Japanese culture, right? So, for instance, in Breakfast with Madame Curie, we see a lot of things like the protagonist itself. She grapples with the pressure of both scientific ambition and progress, the traditional gender rules and everything, right? So these kind of things happen still. Do you think?
I think in Japanese society the gender gap is really high right now too. But why do I keep continue writing about the woman is based on my family, because I born and grown up with 3 sisters.
Oh, I see.
And I love my grandmother, and my grandmother cannot write and read, but I really love to listen her stories. That's make me a writer, because I love to listen her story. But if nobody will not write down her words expire, and her words is not left in the history or books or anything. But for me, my grandmother is really important, and I'd like to keep her words or her life in the book or stories. So I try to write down the word from the woman and the life of the woman I try to describe is the starting point of my artwork and novel.
So, what are the challenges do you think feminism can face in achieving in the 20th century, 21st century, let's say?
Oh, I really believe we could change the world, because my grandmother cannot read and write, but 3 generations afterwards, I became a writer and I can write and read. That's the really big change, and we could change. She couldn't go to school, but my mother graduated the university. So only like 30 years or 1 generation can change, even if small changes lasting for years and years, from mothers to daughters. We could change the society and lives. I think, I believe.
Yeah. That's a great motto though. Yeah. So yeah, it was a pleasure having a podcast with you. Thank you for sharing a lot of insights in art, culture, literature and everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. My English is not good enough, but I try to speak directly to you in my English. So thank you so much for your patience.